you tired of trying to choose between having a great night out or having a great next day? Well, ZBiotics is here to make that decision easy. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists as a way to tackle rough mornings after a night of drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted to a toxic byproduct in your gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that is to blame for your rough next day. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut, where you need it the most. Just remember to take ZBiotics before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly and get a good night's sleep to feel your best in the morning. My friend Joel swears by ZBiotics. With a 100% money-back guarantee, guys, there's no risk. If you are unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's going to get you 15% off your first order when you use promo code Chael at checkout. You can also go to zbiotics.com/Chael or just click the link below. Believe you me. Excellent. It's excellent. You should listen to it. It's opinion, right? He's not going to break news for you, but he's going to share opinion. He recently, I caught this last night, did a piece on the suggestion that Max Holloway had about Max going to 155, fighting Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt. Now, for you hardcore fans, you're saying, yeah, Chael, welcome to 2 weeks ago. I understand that. But it's relevant that Bisping, even if 2 weeks late, talked about it. And you want to know why? Nobody has. And do you want to know why I didn't? I loved it. By the way, you hear fight suggestions all the time, but that one is out of left field, not to mention a dream fight. That is awesome. I remember the headline. I remember where I was. I was on speakerphone talking to my buddy Ryan. Ryan, dirt sheets are reporting Holloway just called out Gaethje. I did nothing with it. And I did nothing with it because I didn't think anybody else would grab it. I didn't think that it would go anywhere. That it was just merely a topic, right? First off, you got guys in different weight classes. You have the BMF champion of one weight class and the number one contender or the top-ranked guy in a different weight class. Max has tested the waters at 155 pounds twice. One was an attempt. He ended up, you guys will remember that, right? Versus Khabib. You remember that? It ended up not happening. But he tested the waters, and then he went up and fought Poirier. And after the match with Poirier, Max was a very good sport. And he came to the conclusion, I'm just not big enough for this weight class. I got my answer. I'll go back to 45. I didn't agree with Max at that time. I did not think that one performance or one time at a new weight, not to mention, you are highly unlikely to beat Dustin Poirier. The one thing that Max has in common with damn near everybody else that fought Poirier is he did not beat Poirier. But Max's was a little bit different in that he was more competitive. He did take the best shots. He did stay on his feet. I mean, there was plenty of positives you could find from that match, but it was a massive rhythm issue where Poirier found his groove early and Max never did. I don't need to relive that fight. I'm just sharing for you as far as having an experience at 155 and coming to the conclusion of I don't belong here. I never agreed with Max. And the fact that Bisping has now brought this up, it now has me parroting that same point, which is I love it. And there's also there's a couple of things here that you can see that aren't stated. There's a couple of things here that were not said. They're the most interesting things that you could say about this match, starting with number one. If Max goes to 55, is he now a 155 pounder? I would like that. Max is in a colossally difficult and unique position. Let me tell you about one of your heroes. Okay, I'm going to tie this in. Time out. Let me tell you about one of your heroes, Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier was as good of a wrestler as you're ever going to find. He was as successful of an athlete as you're going to find. Any sport, any way that you want to do it. You are not going to find athletes across the board, not a meaningful amount of them, be track and field, swimming, that were two-time Olympians. To be an Olympian means that you're the best in your country. They will hold a national championship, and the person that wins the national championship will be known as the nation's champion, the best in the country. But the true best is whoever makes the team. Had to beat that same field with a rarity of pressures over you, not to mention exclusivity, right? I mean, you got to feel good and do it right one time in 4 years. Should it go wrong in most sports, right? You can try again next Saturday, try again next month. The world of MMA, try again in 3 months. The world of basketball, try again this evening, right? We lose in the morning, we're going to play again this evening. It's a unique spot. And I bring the Daniel example to you because Daniel was the same age and the same weight class in the same conference and competed alongside and against Chael Sonnen. So had Daniel been in any other era, and possibly even that same time, but in a different weight class, it would be gold medals all over the place as opposed to silver medals. And of course, we're going to look at Daniel and go, yeah, okay, fine. You weren't the NCAA champion, but here's a group of NCAA champions and you're better than all of them, right? Like we're going to know that as hardcore fans, but that's not how it works. That's not in Daniel's heart. Daniel won't back up what I just said. He will look at it and say, well, I should have beat Chael. As a matter of fact, when Daniel went on his freestyle run in those 2 Olympic teams I'm talking about, a whole bunch of world teams in between, a whole bunch of national championships in between, it was the same time that Chael was. In fact, they were teammates, but Daniel changed weight classes. He could have done that in college. But the real competitors don't want to run. They want to go and deal with the problem. And I'm sharing that with you because you would definitely agree with me. That's exactly what we have with Max. The history books are going to report that Max Holloway in 2021, 2022, 2023 was an also-ran. He was one of the guys. Come on. We're living through it. We know better. We know better. There's an issue with a guy in Volkanovski, and Max's problems might have been solved had Volkanovski got the jump on Islam. I'll also remind you of the timing of Max's call-out. It was after Volkanovski lost in Abu Dhabi to Islam. I think, consciously or subconsciously, that Max was observing that and thinking, hey, my road to a championship can become a lot clearer if Volkanovski wins a championship. The likelihood of him returning, right? You understand that? So Volkanovski doesn't win. He's going to return. It's going to be with Ilya Tupor. And all of a sudden, Max comes up with this idea, which, by the way, I think is a great idea. If it happens, I would like for Max to go to 55 and stay. I find that commitment, when you think you have size issues, committing to the size is really important. Adesanya going up to 205 pounds. Did it on a bit of a whim, didn't give himself a whole bunch of time, didn't really put on any mass, weighed in, walked around at the same weight that he weighed in and walked around at for middleweight, just hydrate. I'm sharing that with you because if you juxtapose that against what Jon Jones did,